Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more of the meta. So once again, I want to show you basically defensive scheme that I run out of the 49ers playbook. In particular, it's going to be the nickel over match formation or match defense, and I'll show you some of my adjustments. I ran into a guy that I would classify as someone who just steals money plays from YouTubers and just blends it in because he didn't really have much of a deliberate scheme. He just would jump into different formations and just go back to abusing corner routes where he clear things out. So you'll see him doing some certain plays. The Bills verts, something I see that Black Rain uses online. He does a lot of like streak corner routes, so I actually had to figure out ways to stop this guy. So this guy's a good player. I think wins about 80% of his games, but he ran into me and he started struggling against my match defense because I did make some good adjustments, even though he made some good plays too. So let's go and jump into this gameplay for you guys. Once again, I'm using the Eagles as my team, just switching things up a little bit, and then obviously he's using the Bills, which is the best regs game on there. Conservative option defense, I do conservative in the baseline and match defense. That's what I run as far as my settings. I went up 7 points because I had the first ball. I like to set up cover 9 as one of my base defenses or audibles. Cover 3 hard flats. He didn't use a lot of tight formations, so I didn't really have to jump into that too much. And then cover 4 palms I use for trip sets. And then I come out of cover 6 as my base formation. So he jumps into just an I form. And anytime I see I form, I'm expecting stretch plays off to the right or left. So what I'll do is I'll bunch up my line and then shift my linebackers over. So if he tries to stretch, I've got basically a defender coming down, and then I'm just going to clean it up on the backside. One of my big threats essentially is going to be this wide receiver. So what I do is I match this guy up with the anticipation if he tries to push the ball over the top, I've got those guys one-on-one, and I'll take take on that risk. He does do the stretch. You can see me biting down completely on this, and look what happens. He throws a little smoke route. I have 2 defenders right there. He gets a good juke move and goes ahead and goes for a 40-yard gainer right there. Another juke move right there and gets 40 yards off that. So that was a big play, but I like the defense. There's nothing wrong with that defense. The only adjustment I would do in the similar situation is actually go ahead and man up the backside slot receiver on that smoke route. That would be the adjustment I would do, and just hope he doesn't do any kind of drag underneath. So similar situation, we're going to go ahead and rotate our guys over. So if he tries to go ahead and run, basically run the ball, the stretch play, I've got a flat defender that's going to come down. I got this guy coming down, and I'm gonna drop down to the box. If he's going to push the ball with his tight end, I'm not really worried about that too much because I'm not going to get myself out of position with a tight end. Tight ends are usually dramatically slower than my defensive backs. My biggest threat would be like the little route here, like a bubble route or some type of a smoke route on the backside. So rotate my guys down just to make sure there's no slant on the opposite side, and you can see he actually goes with there's the underneath route with the bubble is basically stretch what he goes with, and I'm able to go to get him block shed and get him in a 2nd and 11 situation. So now he comes out of I form tight, and once again I'm going to rotate my guys down, slide them off. And I think what I did is I didn't actually do anything with the deep flat defender, but I was just going to be shooting the gap off to the left side. So I'm thinking if he runs this way, I've got a bunch of defenders that are going to play down to the box. My responsibility is to try to take away from that run. And he jumps into a weird play. It doesn't seem like it's a really good play. He's just basically using like a kind of a dragon concept out here, which is a flat, and then he's got like kind of a hook concept. So I don't know what he's doing, but he really doesn't have anywhere to go with the ball. He doesn't know where to go with the ball because I've got cover 2 out there, and I've got a guy playing over the top, and I'm looking for the crosser, and I take away the crosser, which essentially was a tight end slant. So he basically streaked up his tight end with a simple 3-route concept, but he didn't have anywhere to go with it because I had plenty of coverage out there. So now he's going to jump into a play that is basically a play that I see. It's a simple concept where he's got this guy kind of wheeling out and coming like this. He's got another guy wheeling out, coming like this. He's got a crosser, and then and he's got a streak over here. And what he should be doing is taking the running back and actually motioning him up. And it kind of puts me in a bind with my user because this little crossing route has to come over, and sometimes it will open up this route right here. Now, he is basically in a 35-yard line, so it does take a while for these routes to develop, but you can see he did have this. This was wide open, but because I was using away this crosser, which I think that's what he was going after, that threw him off a little bit, and then he missed his read. He mistimed it. So if he would have threw that more deliberately, we wouldn't be in a situation where actually he got a contested ball. So he's going to come back to that and catch that route. That's a money play that I've seen top YouTubers like Black Rain run all the time. I've seen him play subs where he just runs Bill's verticals concept the entire game. So 4th and 11 situation, I'm just running in basically basic nickel type coverage. I decided to go ahead and hit him with a really aggressive man blitz. This is actually bad defense. Looking at it, he chose to block his running back. The blitz didn't come in. There was no pressure, but I think what he was thinking was it was going to be very heavy man blitz, and as a result, he threw the ball early, and I got away with one. That should have been completion. Bad defense. It really wasn't good. I should have done something with a rolling defense and actually catch him off guard. So, up 7-0. He gets back on defense in this type of situation. He gets an interception from me, and actually, I threw the ball early, and it should have been. I waited a little bit, and his defensive back jumped it. So I rotate guys around. He actually hits me with a nice little inside zone. He's able to get the ball in and get into the end zone. But he tries to go ahead and get cute. This guy was an onside kicker, and he also would go for two-point conversions on every situation. So right here, he gets cute. This is not a smart decision in this type of situation from a competitive standpoint. Take your 7 points. If you're going to go for a 2-point conversion, do it when you're up by a score or up by a second possession. That's when you try to cheat off another 2-point conversion. So he actually tries to throw. I have a flat defender out there and knock the ball out, and I'm actually up in a situation where the previous drive I'm up 14 to 6. Now. He's got 30 seconds left in basically one timeout, and this drive is kind of a thing of beauty for him as far as what he's doing. Anytime I see these deuce close type formations, I always go ahead and man up these two guys because I really expect crossing routes and over the top stuff. But what he was running was just simple bench. So he's just using bench concept with his guys, and he was killing me in this corner. So you're going to see me setting this up. I've got basically a double team, but I'm playing in the middle of the field, and because I'm playing in the middle field, he just basically hit this corner out. He's going to come back to that, and he's going to hit it consistently, and it became a hassle right there. So right here, I go into I form. I press my guys down. I'm expecting the run, and he does a shot play over the top. He's got this guy going over the top. He's got this guy going over the top. I have to protect the top, and he's got a crossing route that is going over, and my 3-rec should carry. But look what happens when he gets to the numbers. The 3-rec stops, doesn't carry anymore, and as you can see, he throws the ball and actually picks up a huge chunk of yards on a run-heavy formation. So that was a good chunk of yards, and you have to bank that away. Now he comes back to the deuce close. I set up my standard defense right here, and he's using simple bench, and he actually goes and hits that corner route. So he's going to come back to that corner route because this guy would force that route based on whatever coverage he was going into, and he was getting away with it. So now he goes into the bunch verticals play. So basically he's going to have it set up like so. He's going to have this other guy set up like this. He's got a crossing route that's going to come over the middle of the field. He's going to take the running back and actually streak him up. And basically, I have to defend this crossing route and then peel off to the running back route. But the running back route will get picked up, leaving this area wide open. So he saw it he missed it early in the previous play. I did drop this guy into a seam flat, which will mess up his reads a little bit. You're gonna see a guy that's gonna actually fall back into the zone. So you can see the seam flat actually kind of froze him a little bit. And as you can see, he doesn't really have anywhere to go with it because my defender gets out there. So because I had a guy dropping up in a seam flat, that actually kind of messed up his read, his progression. So my defender was able to get over. So now I go ahead and I think I jump into cover 9. No, actually, I jump into basically palms. So I've got my guys out here. I've got this guy into a deep third. And once again, my responsibility is to look for anything kind of crossing over the middle of the field. He dials up the same exact play, and this guy gets out leveraged in this type of situation. So I guess in a seam flat, he'll carry a little bit, but he got out leveraged, and as a result, he actually pops me in that little seam right there. So I'll have to come back and play some defense in that type of situation to go ahead and clean that up. But that was a good play. He's basically stealing something from other person. It's not like he's actually his own lab. Now we go into an RPO play. And basically what's going to happen is he's going to have a guy motion over and then come up on the wheel. And what happens is defenders will bite down and not play coverage. I went ahead and put a spy out here with the anticipation that he's going to go ahead and try to scramble this quarterback because that's what makes the Bills good. He actually goes ahead and throws it. I have a defender that's right there in that spot to pick him off. So he doesn't get a 2-point conversion, and in that type of situation, I stay up by 2 points, and now I'm in the driver's seat as long as I can get a stop on defense. So second half of the game, up 14-0, he goes back into this pistol formation, and he starts hitting me with C routes. So he's going to have a route like this that's going to come around and come back, and he's going to keep popping me over here with that C route. Now I drop this guy down to the zone because I'm anticipating something that's going to come over the middle of the field and open up, and I want to make sure I've got Diggs double teamed. So let's see if I actually get the next adjustment in that I wanted to do because I've got single coverage over here. Let's see. Okay. I make the adjustment? Yeah. All right. So I manned him up, and I've got basically this guy into a quarter flat. So I basically got this guy locked up with a double team. And the reason I put this guy out here is that I want to protect the flat. And I'm going to basically protect the middle of the field and look for any guys coming over and crossing. That's my responsibility. And I've got, this is basically, a cover 2 shell over here with a 3-rec hook over the middle of the field. So that's how my defense is set up. And right here, I bite down on the play action and look at the C route. He was just toasting me with those C routes and those corner routes off the left-hand side. So I've got to make an adjustment accordingly to make sure I pick that up. So he goes back into the pistol formation. I'm going to go ahead and set my defense up, rotate guys over. I'm going to go ahead and man this guy up. And I think what I did is I put this guy into a third. I think that was the adjustment. I have to play down to the box. I didn't have a flat defender out there. It actually throws to the other side, and I get basically a 2nd and 5 situation. So it's a good chunk of yards for him. It's actually not a bad decision. So I don't, that's a good decision right there. And I think this is where I got this guy into a deep third. So I got him into a deep third. I man this guy up. So if he does carry over the middle of the field, or if he does a whip route or something like that, I've got to do that. The correct adjustment to kind of stop this play is put this guy in a flat. So if anybody goes underneath, I've got a flat defender out there. And I don't think I get that adjustment out. I did get the adjustment out. So you can see how this guy comes out in the flat. To take away any kind of crosser. I'm going to play in the box and look for anything over the middle of the field. And really, because I've got this deep third out here and I've got him manned up, he should not have any kind of a play at all. And you can see he actually throws right into my third, and Rodgers is able to go and pick him off. I got excited about it because I'm like, God, I just baited this guy. He kept going back to the well. And when you go back to the well with your offensive concepts, you're going to basically go ahead and lose. So up 21-12, so I'm up by 9 points. Now he comes back into I form strong. I'm expecting a stretch play with probably a bubble on the backside. So right here, I shift my line over, and then I'm going to play in the box because previously what he did is he went ahead and did this, and then he had a little crosser, and I'm going to carry with the crosser with my 3-rec guy. So he actually passes a ball, and he's just doing basic verticals, which I don't understand why he was doing that. It just didn't seem like a very smart thing to do. I just carry. He's got nowhere to go with it. I've got guys scrambling after his quarterback. I sent the spy and put him in a situation where he doesn't get any yardage. So 2nd and 10 situation. He comes back to the single back wing slot. Once again, he showed me a couple different plays. You expect the stretch play, but he did do that one play previously where he's got the crossing route. So I got to make sure I take care of that crossing route. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I QB contain my guys and play the defense soundly. And I get a nice little block shot off the edge. This was open, and that was just a good defensive end coverage right there. I was carrying everything perfectly, but that running back was open. I think the problem with this guy and why he struggled with my defense is he was trying to push things up, and he didn't check down at all. So if he would have checked down more, it would have been a little bit more harder to stop this guy. So he no huddles. He's obviously frustrated with the situation. He got a 3rd and 16, so I decided to go ahead and dial him up with a dollar blitz, and I'm just going to hit him with the free zone blitz. And I just don't run this defense enough. Like, I just don't have my adjustments set up. So you could see, I think what I did is I inadvertently manned this guy up right here, which is what you don't want to do. I want to man this guy up on this third wide receiver. So I made a wrong adjustment. I've got the blitz set up, and you can see that this guy is out of position. This guy's blitzing. He's out of position. So I've got the wrong defense set up completely, and as a result, he actually dots me up for a completion. So he saw it. He threw the ball, got a first down. It would have been a situation where if I set the defense up correctly, I could have been in a situation where I basically, got this guy in a situation where he might have been checking out of this game a little bit early. So gun tray formation. So typically what I like to do is I like to play palms. I like to take this guy, put him in a third, and drop this guy down into a flat. And then I'll user this defender and just try to go ahead and seal off. And then sometimes I have to carry and take away the third wide receiver. But that's how I like to set it up. I'm setting up my defenders right here. You can see the motion. He actually tries to throw the seam in a quick shot. And my defenders in the area, they go ahead and take away that quick shot. So setting this up once again and actually set up the wrong defensive guy. I actually put a bunch of defensive guys out here. And he was just eating me up with this corner out. So I didn't have my deep third out there that would have took that away. I palms, but because I set up my defensive line wrong, I was trying to quick adjust. So what I should have is I should have this guy into a deep third. And I've got this flat out here. So if he does a verticals concept, I've got that pretty much all locked up. And basically it should take away any kind of a corner route. He does the whip route, and then it's just a deep dig. And this guy's going to clear out that deep third. So this is the perfect play to dial up with that deep out. Really, really good play design for the defense I was running. So that worked out for me. Now I'm actually in the wrong defense. I inadvertently picked the wrong defense. I started playing around with my audible settings, and I jumped into cover 2 right here. Not a good situation to be in when you're not running the right defense. You could see I come down, I bite. I could see the verticals, the underneath route for verticals was open, so I actually give up 8 yards right there. He no huddles. I'm in the wrong defense. I'm thinking because this game is a little bit tighter, I need to save some timeouts. He actually goes with just basic stick, comes back, no huddles again. So I'm just jumping into cover 2 just because I know my responsibilities, but I actually dropped this guy down into a flat. So if he does do a crossing route underneath, I'm going to pick that up, and I can just stay on this 3-rec guy right here. I could 3 wide receiver right here, and he throws it right to me. So that defense was set up to lock up the verticals, and he actually threw right into my defender, and I'm able to go ahead and get an interception. So I'm trying to chew the clock down. I end up going for a run play on a 4th and 1, and his defender shot the gap and actually got me in the end zone. My goal was just to try to run out of clock as much as possible. Get a couple first downs and just chew the clock down on him. So he actually gets a short situation. He's on the about the 16-yard line. He goes back to Munch, and I think he's just basically he's dialing up this play right here. And you could see I actually have that all locked up because I switched up the play. I went with cover 9, I believe, or cover 6. And because I was in cover 6, he really didn't have anywhere to go with it. So we're just going to go ahead and set up the cover 6 once again. Right here, cover 6. I've got a vert hook. I've got basically this should be a flat zone out here, I think, is what I should be running. But I've also got the underneath route right there. So right here actually throws down to the flat. If I had a hard flat out there, that probably would have been taken away. That was a really good read by him. But I'm just playing cover 6 to just rotate my guys over with the cover 6. And he doesn't have anywhere to go with it. I get a nice little QB contain, pass rush, get him into a second and goal. And right now I'm just jumping into zone flats. So I'm going to drop my zone flats, my yellow flats into 5 yards and just play kind of a cover 2 shell and just say, hey, beat me in the back of the end zone. And that's exactly what he does, I think, in this play. So actually he does get an opportunity to get in the back of the end zone. He had some type of a play dialed up down to the red zone. It's just a play action, and he actually catches my guy just sitting there. This guy's eating a beef sandwich. He's just letting everything go by behind him, and he's able to catch the ball in the red zone and get a completion. So I don't know if this guy was ad-libbing, but it seemed like it was a very deliberate, fast read to get a touchdown. So up basically 28-19, and he's been attacking basically the corner routes out of this tray flex tray wide flex formation. So what I decided to do is to put my zone drops at 15 yards and tempt him to throw the corner routes, because that really was pretty much his entire scheme. So I go on the palms, and this is the adjustment I'm doing. It's very risky because if he goes vertical, I've got some guys that are going to play vertical with it, but this is a risky route. This guy's going to fall back to about 25-yard line to stick right here. He could throw me over the top. I'm actually giving that up, but I'm also trying to bait him into making a bad decision, because basically most of his passing concepts have been like so, where he's actually trying to hit me with a corner route. He just kept coming back to the corner route. He didn't do anything on this side of the field. It was very deliberate on what he was doing. So his offense became very predictable because it didn't seem like he had a scheme. He just had plays that he would run. So you can see right here, I actually throws the in route. I've got 2 defenders that take that away, and Bradbury picks it off, and I'm able to go ahead and get basically a win against this guy. So I just want to show you some of the things I do with match defense. I hope match defense carries over to the new game, to Madden 25, because I can jump into new gameplay right away, running match and understanding how to play it. So once again, guys, thanks for your support. If you guys want to see how I run my offense, I've got basically a scheme broken down. I'm going to probably do a full play breakdown. So thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.